Alrighty, here we go, guys. We have our first match today. We've got TARS and SH in today's legendary tournament. Let's kick things off here with a pre-ban.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see what they got. Let's see who they're wanting to pre-ban. Curious to see what they end up locking down here. First round, baby.
Definitely could be some interesting things here. I'm expecting to see some LD pre-bans or even just see the Oliver, potentially a Masha getting pre-banned out here. Definitely expecting these two to take their time though, for sure. Ooh.
Gurkha and Veronica are pre-banned out. Interesting. Those are very targeted pre-bans. That's not something that you just happen to throw out hoping that maybe they might have it and you deny it. They clearly know each other's boxes by this point. First pick Dominic gets slammed down right now.
Correct. That's exactly what it is. It's two players that know each other very, very well, and they knew what was going to come to the table here. So there's the Dominic first pick, and then there's the Masha. We were actually expecting to see that Masha popping out here. Still, I was about to say I kind of feel like that Oliver might be popping out, but no, he goes with the Shizuka, and Shizuka is one of the units that we weren't seeing a lot in that most picked, most banned spots when we look at the players before, but Shizuka's coming out right now into a Narsha and a Wusa. I do like this coming from Taz.
Yeah, the Narsha here is actually a really cool pick. I love seeing that flexibility that she provides between strip option, the consistent def break, and the speed scaling damage with, of course, speed that increases. One of my favorite damage dealers that we so rarely get to see. So it'll be kind of a treat if she ends up getting through Tars's defenses here and we get to see her in game.
Yep, there's the Juno. Now, I'm not that big of a fan right now. I think there could have been a little bit better strip options when it comes to this Wusa here, but it looks like he's going to go with a Juno Nana, signaling one of his big ways to get orbs right now is going to be that Masha. We'll see what TARS is going to be doing here to stop that Nana from getting orbs.
FH is actually threatening a lot of damage here, Stoic. I'm actually a little bit worried for TARS in a sense, because I think FH stands to just burst through a lot of damage with either the Narsha or the Dominic. Doesn't really matter which one gets banned, and take out that Soul Stone immediately from Nana.
No, oh, I'm sorry. FH is on the left side here. My bad. Let's see what TARS is going to be wrapping up his draft here. And he has to bring some form of damage. And, I mean, he's going to be bringing the Leo to the table. That's not a lot of damage. The only defense break... Well, I mean, he's got more defense breakers in the form of that Nana and the Masha. And then Shizuka can obviously bring more defense breaks to the table here. But it looks like Leo's going to get the boot. Leo gets banned out. Gianna is going to get the banned out as well.
Really good last pick there from TARS, actually. That was a forced ban, right? It makes it so that you at least get the 4 that you really want to get through. Here we go, guys. We're going into round 1, Legend Tournament Season 22, TARS versus FH. TARS at the top, FH on the bottom here. Narsha gets turn 1.
Yeah, this Narsha is something that I was definitely afraid of if I was going to be that Juno. That defense break came out, and immediately that's one of the orbs going to be down here. I knew that Juno was going to get focused out, though.
That's what I'm talking about. We talked about this right before we went into the game. FH is just threatening too much damage. It doesn't matter if you can bring one back. You got one and then another. So I think FH has already got this on lock, dude.
This is 100% going to be one of those matches where it is down pat, and it happened very, very quickly here. That was almost a dismount on top of the Masha, but Masha just doesn't have enough in the tank here. There's no more sustained on the side of TARS here to keep up that Masha. Once the Masha is going to get dismounted, TARS is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah, big time. Here comes the Juno again. She can actually get a pretty nice strip, but unfortunately, I think it might be too little too late here because he can get the defense break, the kill. He doesn't even go for the dismount, Stoic. He just confirms.
He did not need the dismount there. Narsha's able to pump up so much damage capitalizing on those defense breaks as well. It's so crazy to see that. I mean, there were some additional turns in here, but it really didn't matter what kind of damage that FH was putting out here.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, there's the procs that occurred were not necessarily the things that won the game. We had the Narsha into the Dom from the very beginning. That's all that it took. There we go. And it's Shizuka versus the world. And that's actually, like, pretty good. She can get some debuffs out, but capitalizing on them, well, that's kind of a tall order.
Isn't that the craziest thing about Shizuka there? Like, Shizuka's the only unit left here, but we have to sit here and say, it's not over yet, because Shizuka is able to do some crazy, nutty things here. Doesn't it get the branding effect on to really capitalize on some big damage, though? No 2-turn sleeve is going to be popping out. Shizuka really needs to start valencing to get a ball rolling here, but there's a lot to worry about when you're staring at a Dominic, and that is going to be an FH. taking round.
Looking down the barrel of a loaded Dominic, there's a lot better places I'd rather be than in that situation there. We saw that coming from a mile away, Stoic. That was just a tough situation. I think that there were a lot of things that you need to consider when looking at what happened with Tars's draft, but could you put your finger on anything that maybe might have been the thing that made it all fall apart for him?
So I want to say towards the second round when he was selecting the Juno, he was bringing it in and out, and I was not a fan of the Juno there because I feel like the Juno wasn't enough to really get the ball rolling here. We had already seen the Nana on the field, and I feel like if you're drafting the Nana, you need to secure that ticket saying, hey, I'm getting these orbs back now. I know he wanted to bring a strip to counter the Wusa, but maybe not Juno. I don't think Juno was going to be the unit to provide the utility his team needed. Maybe even like Praha could have been a little bit better, but I know he was afraid of drafting too many water units, and I could definitely understand why he wouldn't take a Praha in that situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was a little bit too passive when he settled on the Juno. There was not enough damage and not enough dealing with the Narsha. That's I think really what it was. The Juno's too open. You land the defense break and you still have a moment to capitalize on it before she cleanses it and takes a turn. So here we go, guys. We're going into round 2 right now. So TARS can still make something happen, but he's got to get a point on the board right now because, again, the semifinals are best of 3. So we're at game point already for FH. And you can tell that Narsha made an impression.
Yeah, 100%. Expected to see double bans like that. Those are 2 powerful units. So with both of those banned, I mean, we could still see a Nana getting drafted by either one of these players here, but we shouldn't be looking at a very important lock that Nana down as soon as possible. Probably going to be that Shizuka Dominic split again.
Oh, yeah, and you could do something similar. Oh, here comes the Veronica. I almost forgot that we had more content in the back end from FH. And even though the Narsha's banned, they could get a similar result by doing a Dominic and a Miles. There's so many different ways to get that additional damage in. But it looks like maybe they're going a Mora route instead, locking down a speed lead to not fall too far behind.
Yeah, I do see that he's drafting the Moore here. I feel like Moore might not be the speed lead that he wants to lock in. Moore is definitely not a horrible decision here, but I feel like this Oliver should be a little scary, and he shouldn't be putting so much faith in all these water units. But we're going to see a lot of water units here. Maybe Oliver might be getting the ban now, because that's why he locked in all those water units. I do like to see that Dominic and that Gurkha. That's so much threat coming out of TARS.
And the Tessa, he's thinking about it. I like the Miles for sure. We talked about the Miles a second ago. The Miles is a great replacement for the Narsha. They got pre-banned, locks in the Tessarion. I've been loving Tessa recently. Unfortunately, I think it might not see the light of day unless Veronica gets banned.
Yeah,
okay,
Tessa's going to be something that gotta go for sure. If you let that Tessa through, the Gurkha wouldn't be able to do possible Gurkha things here, but a speed lead for FH, and we've got, I believe, an HP lead for TARS, guys. We've got round 2. Let's see what happens here.
Let's go. Veronica taking turn 1. You love to see that third skill go off Stoic. Stripping and resetting everyone for 2 turns. A big proc from Miles.
Look at the damage coming out of that Miles. A little bit of attack bar pushback with that more happening there.
Wow, look at that. And this is what we say when we talk about, like, just bring a Shizuka. You can pick her so early in a draft. There don't need to be buffs when you draft her. If she just gives your team 2 turns of immunity and a little shield, like, that's great.
Here comes that second skill. Looks like he's going to put Gurkha in his focus right now instead of trying to finish up that Dominic. It looked like the Dominic could have been a very easy kill, but maybe trusting the Veronica to finish everybody off here was probably the right decision.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about what he was doing there too, Stoic, until I saw that skill 2 go off and then all the dots coming. Although I still think that's... Oh, it is exact. It's like exactly 10%, like dominoes they get knocked down.
Yep, that really was a perfect decision there. Whoa, FH with a very commanding second match there.